What's up, design family, and welcome to another episode of FittDesign TV. On today's episode, we'll be looking at pockets and different types of pockets, specifically within the context of sportswear design. There are a ton, and it's very easy to get confused and lost within the sea of pocket types available. If you've ever wondered what pocket to use for a specific design, watch this video, you're going to find out. Hey guys, and welcome to FittDesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Before we start off listing off different pocket types, I'll give you a brief overview of what we would consider a pocket. A pocket is any compartment or space created between two or more layers of fabric stitched together. Pockets have utilitarian and functional purposes of storing items and or adding more comfort or warmth to the wearer. So if you think of a hoodie and adding your hands into a pocket, that would be that component. The three main families of pocket types that we're going to consider today are as follows. Patch pockets being family number 1, inseam pockets being family number 2, and inset pockets being family number 3. We'll start off with patch pockets. These are the most common types of pockets that you see. They're the easiest pockets to add to a garment. A patch pocket is exactly what it sounds like, in the sense that you have a patch of fabric that is top stitched down to a base layer to create the compartment in between the two layers of fabric. The main types of patch pockets that we see are kangaroo pockets. These are predominantly seen on sweatshirts and hoodies, and the way that we create a kangaroo pocket is we cut out the patch and top stitch it down onto the garment, creating those two layers of fabrics that allow you to have the compartment. The reason they're called kangaroo pockets is that they are seen in the midsection of the garment, and if you think of the kangaroo, the pouch that's created is very similar in function and aesthetic to the pouch that is created with a kangaroo patch pocket on hoodies or on sweatshirts. Designers have been typically known to secure down these patch pockets with a top stitch, but contemporary designers are looking at other interesting methods like laser cutting and welding or heat welding pockets down. They even look at adding heat transfer tape to secure the edges of the patch pocket onto the base layer. So there are a ton of ways, and there are a ton of different ways to approach a kangaroo pocket and the aesthetic of a kangaroo pocket. The second type of patch pocket that we'll look at is a bellow accordion, or more commonly called a cargo pocket. A cargo pocket at its base is a patch pocket with a gusset all around its perimeter, which forces the patch away from the surface of the fabric, creating more structure and more volume. These pockets can have flaps on them to be secured down with press buttons or Velcro, and they're typically seen on more tactical apparel. It's a great pocket to add to the garment when you want to increase the volume of your pocket. Do bear in mind that they do add bulk, and they are quite visible on the surface of the garment. The third type of patch pocket that we look at is a utility pocket, and this is a variation of the kangaroo pocket. In a similar sense, it's just a patch pocket. However, within the main compartment created between the two fabric layers, you can have other sub-compartments that are used to store different things and to lay out different structures within the pocket itself. These types of utility pockets are usually seen on more functionally focused apparel like military gear, hunting gear, and or work attire. So if you think of work attire, the different types of apparatus or different types of tools that you'll need on the job, utility pockets allow you to categorize and to keep everything separate and just keep you a lot more streamlined in the way that you're storing your items. These garment types or these pocket types are great on functional apparel, and we've definitely seen sportswear take a lot more of a utilitarian and functional approach. So utility pockets is definitely something that you can consider moving forward. The second family of pockets that we're going to look at are inseam or concealed pockets, and they are exactly what they sound like. They're hidden, and the way that they're created is using the seams or the construction of a garment. These pockets are placed into the seam and they're not visible from the outside, so they have a very minimal profile, and they're usually just 100% secured within the seams that are already existing. These types of pockets, the first one of these types of pockets that we can look at is a side seam pocket, and we usually see these side seam pockets on pajama pants or on skirts, and they're always secured into the side seam or into the princess seam of garments. They can either be zippered, or in most cases they're open, just for ease of access and ease of use. When it comes to zippered inseam pockets, we'll look at the jacket inseam pockets. These are very similar in construction to the side seam pockets, but they're usually placed into a, let's just say, into a seam that is not part of the foundational structure of the garment. So it's not part of the side seam or the shoulder seams. It's a seam created specifically for this pocket to exist. So through the construction method, you add a seam or a slit, and then you'll have your inseam pocket. These pockets can also be zippered, or they can be open depending on the use. And the reason why they're called jacket inseam is they're very popular on the insides of jackets, usually on the passport holder. You do see them on cargo pocket, you do see them on bomber jackets as well, and they just have a very minimal and sleek look, and they're really just meant to have as minimally invasive of a effect on the garment as possible. The third type of inseam pocket that we'll look at are slashed or slanted pockets. On first glance, you wouldn't think these are inseam pockets, but they fit the characteristics of an inseam pocket. If you think of your favorite pair of denim, trousers, or chinos, the pockets that you see on the waist section, those are slanted pockets. And the way that they work is the fabric itself is cut open, and on the back side of the fabric you have the pouch that is secured that creates the compartment of the pocket. And these pockets are usually slip pockets, so they're open, they're not secured with zippers. It's very hard to add zippers to curved surfaces, so you usually see these pockets as open or slip open pockets. The third and final family of pockets that we'll look at is the inset pocket. The inset pocket is, as it sounds, set into the garment, and it's usually finished on the outside with a more obvious look or sort of structure. So they're less concealed than inseam pockets, and they're just a lot more flexible in the sense of where you're able to place them. The main type of inseam or inset pocket that we see is a welted pocket. A slit is created in the middle of the garment, and it's secured on the outside with a welt or a lip, like a center folded piece of fabric that creates the lip and creates the opening. These pockets can either be zipped open or they can be slip open, depending on the specific approach you want to take. The second type of inset pocket is a jetted pocket, very similar to a welted pocket. However, it's also finished on the outside with a much more visible flap or sort of opening that will lead you, or that will help you finish up the outside of the garment. These pockets, if you think of a bomber jacket, they're very visible in bomber jackets on the sides, and you typically can secure those down with a press button, where you open up the press button and then you have access to your pocket. That pocket can either be a slip open or it can be zippered, depending on the specific use case scenario and the aesthetic that you're going for. The last and final type of inset pocket that we'll look at is a zippered pocket. I do want to say that a zippered pocket can also be applied to patch pockets, so the zipper itself is a versatile method of enclosing the pocket, but in the sense of an inset pocket, it would be a slit that's created within the middle of the garment that is secured in terms of how it opens up to allow the wearer to access it with a zipper. And we've done a video on zippers that I highly recommend you check out, because not all zippers are created equal. There are three main types of zippers that you can consider: predominantly nylon zippers, metal zippers, or plastic zippers, and each one will have a specific use and a specific effect on the garment. So I highly recommend you check that video out. Zippered pockets can also be added to patch pockets. So On the patch, you can add a zipper opening and you end up having that dual use or that dual functionality to the pocket. Hopefully you guys have a better idea of what pockets are available. Of course, there are a ton of other different types of pockets within these three main types of families that we've discussed, but I've mentioned the most popular and the most common that you may want to consider. In terms of which one is right for you, there's no clear-cut answer, but patch pockets are typically some of the most simple and straightforward pockets to add, so they're going to be a bit more easy and cost-efficient to apply onto your garment versus inset and inseam pockets, which will require more quality control and just an overall more attention to detail, which may drive the cost up. But like I said, it does depend on the aesthetic that you're going for. If you want something more sleek, or if you do like the look of these exposed pockets that can sort of dictate to the wearer where they should be placing what and just give a much more physical and visual approach to the garment. Thank you guys so much for tuning into FittDesign TV. If there's any other types of pockets that I've missed, leave them in the comments below. And if you guys want us to cover other topics, do leave that in the comments below as well. Thank you so much, and until next time, stay awesome.